This is, in my opinion, the best item in all of Remnant 2. Ask yourself this: what build do you like? A light build? A medium build? A heavy build? Do you like to use the Engineer, the Archon, the Hunter? You get the point. The thing is, it does not matter what you like. This item fits every single build. The item in question is the Bright Steel Ring. It gives the player the fastest evade roll regardless of their armor encumbrance. Now you see, there are two downsides to using ultra heavy armor in Remnant 2. That is, the stamina cost increase and the dodge becomes slow. And at the ultra heavy encumbrance, you just straight up flop. So in other words, you avoid using heavy armor if you intend to dodge a lot, which by the way, in Apocalypse, you absolutely always have to dodge. Now you see, the Bright Steel Ring completely negates the biggest downside to using heavy armor in Remnant 2. The only other issue you're left with is the stamina cost penalty, which goes up to 45% when using ultra heavy armor. I am aware that at the weight tooltip, it claims to have a 75% stamina penalty. However, on the advanced stats tab, it only states a 45 stamina increase even when testing without anything else equipped. So I'm not sure if this is bugged or not. However, the stamina cost can also be easily offset by inserting points into recovery. A lot of players mistakenly think ultra heavy armor will also affect their movement speed, but this is not the case. So in case I haven't convinced you yet, let me put it this way. You can use the absolutely best DPS build in the game, and as long as you can swap out one ring for the Bright Steel Ring, then you can use the absolute best DPS build in the game with ultra heavy armor, nearing maximum amount of damage reduction without having to worry about messing up your dodges. In other words, we can use builds with maximum damage reductions combined with maximum damage per second. So as far as I can see it, there's no reason any build shouldn't use this ring, unless a build absolutely requires all 4 ring slots. In the gameplay in the background, I am using the ultra heavy armor set, combined with Hunter Gunslinger build that optimizes on ranged DPS. And if you're wondering what build I am using, let's quickly go over it. For armor set, we use of course the ultra heavy Leto 2 Mark set. For the relic, we use the enlarged heart with the best in slot range DPS relic fragment. Moving over to the primary weapon, we use the pulse rifle with the overflow mod for its fire rate increase, as well as the momentum mod for optimal DPS. Onto the secondary, I use my trusty Nebula with the failsafe mod for extra damage. And as for a necklace, I use the Ankh of Power. Ideally for max DPS, you'd use the abrasive whetstone combined with a handgun equipping the twisting wounds, but I find the Ankh of Power to be the most comfortable choice overall. As for rings, we use 2 key ranged DPS rings, the Xenia's Malice and the Probability Cord, and of course, the Bright Steel Ring. For the 4th ring, I'm using the Gunslinger ring, but you can literally choose any ring you'd prefer. You could go more defensive, or you could use more DPS based rings, it's really up to you. As for the archetypes, I use the typical ranged DPS combination of Hunter and Gunslinger. I use the Hunter's Mark for the increased damage and crit chance, and the Bullet Storm for its fire rate increase. Moving over to traits, these are fairly flexible, just use as you like and as you see fit. Personally, I think the key traits are Swiftness, Fortify, Vigor, and Footwork, as these are some of the best traits for Apocalypse difficulty. I also threw in the Bark Skin to bring my damage reduction to 75%, and as you can see, I only have 3 points in recovery, and that is already plenty enough to dodge boss mechanics, but then again, put on 10 points in recovery and some points in endurance if stamina is an issue for you. And if you do that, you will completely negate any downside of using heavy armor with this build. Now let's take on another boss with this build and go over what I'm doing play by play. Alright, let's take up Shahala here. This is attempt number 3. I believe I know what I'm doing wrong. This should be the one. Alright, let's start off by doing a lot of bleed damage here. Doing as much damage as I can, and these hand timings are so awkward. But alright, I got away from that one without getting hit. That's quite nice. As you can see, I've changed my weapon to the Merciless, as well as I've changed my MP7, and I put on the Twisting Wounds mutator, because this boss has elemental resist, as you can see there at the top, and so my Nebula was not ideal for this fight, and I figured I'd just go hard bleed, because if I'm not mistaken, bleed does not count as elemental damage. That would be really awkward if I were wrong. Alright, so far we're getting through these phases quite nicely. I don't think I've taken any damage yet. But the timing on these is pretty, I'm kind of getting the hang of it. It's like 1, 2, evade. 1, 2, evade. So with this build I can take on a lot more hits than normal builds, of course. If I were using a really soft build or lightweight build, I would probably be getting 1 hit or 2 hit here, but instead I can actually take several hits before anything really happens. I just kind of have to be careful with these hands coming out of the floor because they seem to be a 1-hit mechanic. Because I just died to it previous run, so we're just gonna bring him down slowly. Against this boss, it's a good idea to kind of play defensively. Just kind of do damage when you really have free time to do damage. Like right here, instead of just focusing and continuing attacking him, I find it better to just focus on avoiding his mechanics and just slowly work my way towards killing him. Ooh, that was quite close. As you can see with the bright steel ring, of course, we have max armor, and I'm able to evade like it's no one's business. Oh, also, I guess I should mention, I do enjoy using the Verdant tea concoction when I am using this build, which is one of the reasons why I do not spend points into recovery. Because I have the Verdant tea, so the Verdant tea is pretty much making up for that lack of stamina and stamina recovery. You know, and instead of having to, oh my god, wait. Okay. So instead of having to spend too many points on recovery and on endurance, I can just throw in a Verdant tea concoction. And that kind of makes it up for it. Okay, so I get the hang of these, like for the timing, but they're all coming at me at once. It's not easy. We might be entering the last phase, or not the last phase, but I think this is going to be the last push to kill him. Let me try to focus a lot of damage here. Okay, let me just focus here. Oh my god, that's not good. So I went for the ammo there as I ran out of ammo, and that almost cost my life, but we're good. Enlarged heart coming in for the clutch. Alright, I'm gonna use a healing shot for this one. Oh, messed up again. And just focus on dodging. And here he comes again. Okay, I think this is the last push. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We got him down to 1 health. We got him. We got him. He's gonna come back up. I'll just shoot him in the chest. No problem. Easy. Alright, so as you can tell, this build is insane, man. I got a lot of damage reduction. I can just take on so many hits from him while being able to maintain so much DPS. On an easier fight, this would be even crazier, but this fight is actually quite tough. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Much love. Peace.